But one of the main reasons that people don't get what they want is because they don't actually figure out what it is. And the probability that you're going to get what would be good for you, let's say, which would even be better than what you want, right? Because, you know, you might be wrong about what you want easily, but maybe you could get what would really be good for you. Well, why don't you? Well, because you don't try. You don't think, okay, here's what I would like if I could have it. Imagine that you were taking care of yourself like you were someone you actually cared for. And then you thought, okay, I'm caring for this person. I would like things to go as well for them as possible. What would their life have to be like in order for that to be the case? Well, people don't do that. They don't sit down and think, all right, you know, let's figure it out. You've got a life. It's hard, obviously. It's like 3 years from now, you can have what you need.
You have that potential. It's just you're not putting the effort into it. You are lazy. You want to fit into the group. You want to conform because it's easy. But your oddness, what makes you weird, what makes you different, that little strange quirk in how you want to dress yourself, that little strange quirk in your musical tastes, that little quirk in the food that you like to eat, that is who you are. Those are signs from deep within, from your core, or from your soul. This is who you are. And if you lose that, not only are you not going to be successful in life, you will also lose yourself, and you will be unhappy, you'll be unfulfilled, you'll be alienated from who you are. And you can get away with that when you're young because you're happy, you look good. You need a bit of courage in life. You need to go, okay, I am weird, I am strange. You know, lean into it.
We live in a world of regular people who are never going to do shit, who have already given up on their dreams, who have already decided that they are going to be this certain kind of person from now until the time that they die. And when you step out the boundaries that they have set for themselves, you are going to hear about it. You are going to get negativity. You are going to get people laughing at you. You are going to get people making fun of you. You're going to get people telling you that you're not being realistic and that you're not humble and that you're not a good person and that they're morally superior. Because here's the thing about success is that the further you go, the further away you get from those people. And the further away you get from those people, the less you give a f*** about what they had to say about you. But most people spend their entire lives seeking the approval of people who don't even approve of themselves.
When I think about how hard I want to work, the interesting thing about that is that the only person who can judge you on your success is you, because you're the only one who knows how much left in the tank you really had. And the better you get, you start winning exteriorly. And that's when people are like, it felt so empty. It's because they didn't actually work as hard as they could have. They just worked hard enough to beat everyone else. But that discrepancy between how hard you could have worked to work your hardest versus what was required in order to win, to me, that's the opportunity that shifting towards the work being the goal unlocks for you.
God never sends me where I would be comfortable. He always sends me where I'm uncomfortable, that it's my job to make things comfortable. So no matter what life presents you, don't stop doing what you've been called to do.
God doesn't give you the people you want. He gives you the people you need to help you, to hurt you, to leave you, to love you, and to make you the person you were meant to be. Oftentimes, when we deal in love, we love the version of people that best suits us.
Yes.
We don't always love the version of that person that best suits us in our development and the people that we're striving to become. We love the best version of that person that best suits us. We don't always appreciate the best version of that person that helps us develop into the people that we're destined to become. That's the person that we need, right? You don't always need the coach that's gonna pat you on the butt and say, good job. Sometimes you need the coach that's gonna say, hey man, get your shit together. Get your life together. Like, let's go. Other times you might need the cat that's gonna say, hey youngin, you too hard on yourself, man. Give yourself some grace. The wisdom in that is knowing what season that you're in and knowing how to receive it. Like being honest with yourself, right? It's times in your life to where you're gonna need that drill sergeant. It's times in your life to where you're gonna need that cat to give you that grace. Not rebuking it, not fighting it. Understanding and being honest with yourself and knowing what you need in the moment, predicating upon the season that you're in life and the person that you're striving to become.
One of my favorite things from Marcus Aurelius is the whole universe is change, and life itself is but what we deem it.
Mm-hmm.
Life itself is but what we deem it. The 8 most profound words in all of philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
What he means is that things are going to happen. You are going to have experiences in life. Almost all of the important impacts of how those experiences change you are going to be the story that you tell yourself about what that experience means.
There's you and there's the potential inside you, whatever that is, you know. And potential is an interesting idea because it represents something that isn't yet real, yet we act like it's real. Because people will say to you, you should live up to your potential. And that potential is partly what you could be if you interacted with the world in a manner that would gain you the most information. But it's deeper than that too, because we know that if you take yourself and you put yourself in a new environment, new genes turn on in your nervous system. They encode for new proteins. And so you're full of biological potential that won't be realized unless you move yourself around in the world into different challenging circumstances, and that'll turn on different circuits.
Who here thought it was going to be easy? I'm like, who here thought it would be hard? They raised their hands. I'm like, guys, this is what hard feels like. And all of a sudden there's just like this big exhale in the room. And they're like, expectations get reset. This is normal. You wanted this thing. You expected it to be hard. Reality now matches conditions. Sorry, expectations now match conditions. This is what hard feels like.
It's not glamorous. It's lonely. As you start changing, everything around you starts changing. People around you start, like, it's not even fun in the beginning. And so you'd either have to have an incredible amount of hope or a ridiculous amount of inspiration and delusion, or you have to be in so much pain that the alternative to continuing this pain that you're in is to try something different because it's the only thing that might be slightly less painful than what you're doing.
What if? A lot of times I'll be in a 200-mile run or something like that, and I'm all jacked up. Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I start to say, what if I can pull this off? When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years make it through. You know what I said to myself? What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a fucking miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if?
There's no perfect way to live your 20s. You either live them up and become an underskilled 30-year-old, or you work them up and become an underlived 30-year-old. You just have to figure out which you'd rather be, accept the trade-offs, and know that there are no do-overs.
There are more people that I have met in my life who are dissatisfied by their live-it-up 20s than dissatisfied by their work-it-up 20s. Most of the time in your 20s, you have no idea what you want. Knowing what you need to do to work and move ahead is fairly straightforward. And so you can take the known and make progress on the one that you have high confidence that you can make progress on. And then along the way, gain perspective on what are the things that are actually important to you in your life. And you may find out often that there are far fewer of those things than you really originally thought, because what you thought live them up in your 20s was actually your mom and your two homies who are both mediocre, and you don't care about their opinion now when you're 30 anyways. But what a waste of a life it would have been to, quote, live up your mom's dream or your friend's dreams to then only get to your 30s and realize you didn't live it up and you also didn't work it up. And now you have neither.
The most important decision you can make above any on the face of the earth is deciding that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what happens, you're gonna live in a beautiful state. What the hell does that mean? It means that you're not gonna suffer. It means a beautiful state is that you're gonna be happy, but that's only one. Or you're gonna feel creative, or you're gonna be passionate, or you're gonna be in awe of something, or you're gonna feel love. Any state that's a beautiful state is really the core essence of who you are without fear.
Justice is when you get what you deserve. Mercy is when you don't get what you deserve. He said, but grace is different from both of them. Grace is when you get what you don't deserve. Do you understand that? God has this thing that he passes out called grace. He passes it out and he gives you things you don't deserve.
When you were born, you are a phenomenon. You are unique. Your DNA has never occurred in the history of the universe, going back billions of years. It will never occur in the future. Your life experiences with your parents and everything that you experience in your early years going on up is unique. It's yours. You're one of a kind, right? So That is your source of power. To waste that is just the worst thing you can do in your life. And what the power is finding that uniqueness. What makes you you, and how you can mine that, and how you can go deep into it and use that to create a career path.
It's amazing how much strength you can get from knowing that your ancestors are looking down on you and you're doing your absolute best. I also believe that God can be proud of you when you do your absolute best. And I don't think many people genuinely do their best in the world anymore. When I say do your best, people sit and go, oh yeah, okay. No, when's the last time you actually did your best? Like, I don't train to run marathons, but I know if I gave my best, I could run a marathon right now, first try. If I gave my best, life depending on it. When's the last time people have genuinely given their best to anything? There are people going through the world and going through life today that don't give their best or 100% effort to anything ever. Ever. They can't even remember the last time they tried.
If you want to be anything special and last for a long time, it comes with discipline, 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 discipline. Really understanding the word of discipline and sticking to it. If you really understand that, you'll be fine. Most of these guys don't have discipline. They feel like they do enough. They'll make excuses. They'll be like, no. Being disciplined. Set a goal, be disciplined to that goal.
Just do things, and if you like it, you'll probably be better at that than anything else you choose to do. Because you will invest even your downtime doing it. And as the saying goes, pick something you would do for free and make that your career, and you'll never live a sad day in your life.
It doesn't matter where you are in life. It really doesn't. Because the great thing about life is it's always your next move. Your next move that counts. No matter where you are. You could be, look, I was dead broke. My electric bill was being shut off. And there were people even like worse off than I was. It doesn't matter. You could change your life if you want to. It's always your next decision. So it's up to you.
That's mental health, to be able to celebrate yourself and to be able to give yourself some credit. And I feel like that was a great statement for those going through mental health, because we always depend on confirmation, or we depend on someone to make us feel like we're worthy or we're validated, when in actuality you should thank yourself for being validated, because you're the one that got to get up every day and do this and walk this walk, talk this talk, and do what you do to be you. So thank yourself, pat yourself on the back.
Should is just like the expectation motor of like all of our psyches. You should go to school. You should get a degree. You should do this job. You should marry her. You shouldn't stay up so late. You shouldn't work so hard. You should be more balanced. You shouldn't be working out so much. You're not working out. Like there's all these shoulds that other people tell us. And it's like, and you zoom out and then you see that it's a galaxy with a little dot of dust. It's like, should what? There is no should. Do what you want to do.
The reality of life is this. The world's relentless, and it will not stop beating your ass until you wake up and start beating it back. And when I see self-love and all, I do understand where they're coming from. Those people are talking to people who are on the brink, right? Yep. And they think their entire world's crumbling, and they're telling them it's okay. But I actually think that's the wrong message. I think the right message is this: hey, this is how it is if you don't go hard. This is what you're going to get if you do not try hard to develop yourself and get off the bench and get in the game. And I say that out of a place of love and caring for people.
There's a hell of a lot more to you than you think, like way more. Enough to cope with the trouble of the world inside you. There's enough to cope with the trouble of the world. And if you had enough courage, you could let that out. Enough courage and faith, you could let that out, and everything would be better because of it. Really, really. And so that's a good story, and it's also true. And so I'm trying to tell that story.
You gotta be willing to do the work. You can speak about it all day. The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, blame, and quit and settle. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. But it takes real work to deconstruct and to reconstruct the thought process and the mindset of an individual when they're trying to change something. That's why I always say to people, what's more important? What we acquire or who we become, right? What's more important, what we acquire or who we become? Materialistic, superficial, it's cool. But the people that we become, the thoughts we think, the words we speak, that's something that's gonna travel with us forever.
Because I think that people have been told for a while that, oh, if you're feeling sad, there's something wrong with you. When I actually don't think there's anything wrong with when you feel sad. You feel sad? Yeah, you lost friends. You're gonna feel sad. Oh, you were in combat. You had to do some horrible things. You did some things that you regret. There's nothing wrong with that. People make mistakes. Things don't turn out the way that they wanted them to. We made decisions and there was a bad result at the end of that decision. And instead of thinking, oh, I'm a terrible person, no, it's like you made a mistake and that's okay and you gotta move on.
Manifesting is real. When you figure out who you are and what you wanna do, and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing, and you manifest, most of these people end up, doing what they say they're gonna do and being who they say they're gonna become. It's real. And there's no excuses, there's no fucking days off, there's no, not willing to grind and, everybody's against me and this didn't happen for me because of this and that and all this whining and pussy ass bullshit that a lot of people do these days. It's these people who dive in and they're hardcore and they're focused and they know what they want, they know who they are, and they lay out these short-term goals and this roadmap on how to get there. Most of those people make it.